Marshall, please. Okay. Good evening. Tonight we're announcing a major development in the investigation to the mass shooting incident that occurred just before midnight on April 29th in the 1500 block of East 25th Street. Thanks to the very urgent, coordinated effort of members of the Minneapolis Police Department and several federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, I'm thankful to say a shooter has been taken into custody. Today at approximately 3:30 p.m., the United States Marshal's Office North Star Fugitive Task Force, assisted by FBI SWAT team, executed an arrest warrant on the 1600 block of South 4th Street and arrested James Dwayne Ortley, age 34. This is a significant step forward in what has been an intense and fast-moving investigation into the most violent incident this city has suffered this year. While this arrest marks a major breakthrough, our work is far from over. We continue to seek information and assistance from the public regarding this fatal shooting and 2 additional homicides that occurred later on April 30th. We believe that other individuals may be involved in the 1500 East 25th Street incident, or they may have key information that could help bring justice to the victims and their families. We urge anyone who saw something, heard something, or has knowledge of these incidents to come forward, even anonymously. In response to this surge in violence, the MPD and our law enforcement partners, including the Hennepin County Sheriff and Metro Transit Police, have deployed additional patrols and specialized units to the affected neighborhoods. This increased presence is focused not only in investigating these incidents, but also on preventing similar violence that often follows events like these. We are committed to continuing these efforts in the days ahead and will adjust resources as needed to continue to support community safety and rebuild community trust. The MPD has also met directly with community leaders and residents to hear their concerns, identify immediate safety needs, and collaborate on solutions to strengthen public safety and eliminate further harm. Again, I will reiterate, 1 person has been arrested, and we believe this individual is responsible for the mass shooting that occurred on April 29th. We have a great deal of work to do and will continue to do the work around the clock to bring those responsible for these recent murders to justice. And I want to again thank Special Agent in Charge Alvin Winston, United States Marshal Eddie Frizzell, prosecutor from an assistant prosecutor at the Hennepin County Attorney's Office who worked very, very quickly with our team, U.S. Attorney's Office, and other law enforcement that responded so urgently and that are continuing to work with us to bring others responsible for the other crimes that we suffered. And I want to bring up our mayor for his remarks. Thank you.
First, I want to thank Chief O'Hara for his leadership, especially over these last several days. I want to thank our Minneapolis Police Department, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals for helping to make this really important arrest, and a number of other partners as well, including our counties that have stepped up to assist during these last several days. To be clear, they have worked tirelessly since the shooting took place and continue to work tirelessly until an arrest is made, and the work is not done yet. While the work is far from over, this arrest is a major step forward, and it is a message to those wishing to do harm or violence, and that message is very clear. This will not be tolerated in our city. To our neighbors in the Native community, we know that you're grieving, that you're upset, and that you're hurting, and that pain is unimaginable. To the tips we received, the support and the unified response to reject violence in our city have been instrumental in ultimately getting to this moment. And again, we fully recognize that the work is not done. This is born out of partnerships through our enterprise, partnerships with a number of different jurisdictions, and thank you for your support. Partnerships also with our community, because we can't possibly gather all the necessary intelligence without talking to people in the community that understand the community. Please know that we are working with you, and we will continue to work to make sure that justice is done. We'll continue to stand with you, and as you heal, we're going to heal together as a community. Thank you. I'll turn it back to the Chief.
So we'll open up for any questions, and I'll do the best I can, because obviously the investigation continues.
Chief, could you talk about what played out at that street corner that night? Can you share and let the community know, do you feel this was gang-related? Do you feel there could be more retaliation from this homicide?
Well, certainly I have heard from members of the community, ever since this has happened, that has been a fear, both before the murder happened at Cedar and 17th and even after. And that's not based on any specific facts. That's based on community's lived experience. For a lot of members of our Native American community here, they have known loved ones that have been affected by violence, and they are aware of how the nature of a lot of community violence can become retaliatory. It can become a cycle, kind of like an eye for an eye until everyone is blind. And that's why we want to encourage as best we can and be present with community, to have community voices helping to, suppress some of that and also bring those responsible to justice before this spirals even further.
What led you to this suspect?
The evidence of the case.
Can you say any more?
I can't jeopardize the integrity of the investigation. Again, this is the person we believe is responsible, but the investigation is not yet complete.
So this person is believed to be responsible for that night at that location.
Shooting those 5 people, that's what
injuries.
We believe.
And
causing those murders, yes.
Is it not linked to there was a different one that wasn't fatal nearby that night?
We don't believe that's connected.
How do you believe then this is connected? Yesterday you thought this was likely retaliatory, the early afternoon homicide, still looking at that?
Yep, that has not changed.
Okay.
And we are making good progress in that case.
Can you tell us anything about the connection of that victim and the person that's in custody?
I can tell you we believe it is related to this incident, and I can tell you that we do not believe that the person that we have arrested is responsible for that.
How are the victims, the other two, the man and the woman who were injured on Tuesday night?
Their condition remains the same. I believe the male remains a very, very serious, life-threatening condition.
Any connection then with last night's most recent homicide last evening? Is that entirely unrelated?
Lake and 15th, no reason to suspect that's connected to this.
Okay.
You said you believe this is the person responsible for shooting those 5 people. What leads you to believe that there are then others who are involved in this?
We have not ruled out that others may be involved in some way, or others may have information that may be material to the investigation. But we believe this person is responsible for shooting those people.
For firing that weapon?
Yes.
And they were the only person that fired the weapon?
I did not say that.
Are you able to say what the motive was for this shooting?
It's under investigation. Yeah.
Did the arrest make any more confirmation if it was gang related at all with that shooting?
The arrest literally just happened. That'll all play out in the investigation.
I didn't know if you could shed a little more light too on the person you arrested. Was he lying in wait for these people? Did he pull up in a car? Can you provide any more clarity on what played out on that corner?
I can tell you. I don't want to give anything further other than, we believe the individual is known to at least some of the people who were present. And as I've stated before, it was not random.
Chief, can you share how many more people you believe are still out there that are involved in these 2 incidents?
I do not know. I do not know if... I do not know.
Did Wortley cooperate with the arresting officers?
He was taken into custody safely, and no one was injured.
He's known to Minneapolis police, it appears,
Correct.
based on his record.
Yes.
Can you give us any context here about how you know him? Why he's wanted on a felony warrant?
I think more than one law enforcement agency was aware of this individual. And beyond that, I don't have specifics offhand.
Can you
To
explain,
cite.
can you explain then why he wasn't taken into custody sooner?
I don't believe there was any warrant that I'm aware of for his arrest.
So this was not a prior warrant we're talking about? He
I
just
don't
said that
know.
he
I
was-
thought it was, but
I am not aware of the existence of an open
There
warrant.
was a-
I know we were pursuing charges for him.
felon in possession of a firearm.
There was a
Yes.
there was a press release from, I believe it was like the U.S. Marshal's office.
Yes.
Press release, and that talked about a warrant.
Yes, we pursued that.
And so-
with
So
the
that
U.S.
was a new
Attorney's
warrant.
Office.
That was not
Yes.
an outstanding warrant.
Yes, correct.
So there was no outstanding warrant for him prior to, for this?
I'm not saying that there wasn't. I'm saying I am not aware of one. That immediately, once we identified this person, we immediately looked to get him off the street however we could. So that was, one of the things was, if we could get a warrant for that, that's what we would do. We wound up getting both warrants, state court and federal court for the gun
How
charge.
quickly did that happen? Can you give us a sense of the turnaround time here?
For me, not fast enough. It's been a long day and a half or so. I don't remember.
Chief, you
Offhand.
mentioned how the community said there's something going on.
Yep.
How far back do you think this retaliation goes?
I don't know. I don't know. I think for sure it is likely that the incident that we had, it's highly probable that the incident that we had at 17th and Cedar, that murder, was retaliation for the incident that occurred, this mass shooting that we're talking about. But beyond that, I can't speculate further about some ongoing beef.
Are the feds charging this one, or is this kind of been done?
This was, the feds have the warrant for the original gun case, and an assistant prosecutor across the street worked very, very quickly to get charges for the murder, this mass shooting that we're talking about. So that part is in state court. Yeah.
Chief, what role did community and TIPS play in getting this individual off the street?
I do not know offhand the extent to community tips. I have been in community myself since this happened and just meeting with organizations and stakeholders, and I'm aware of a whole lot of evidence and collaboration with law enforcement to build the case that we need, but I don't have any specifics on community tips offhand.
Is he part of the Native American community?
I believe he is Native, yes.
So have charges been filed, or is it still pending at this point?
The warrant has
charged by
been
a
issued, yeah.
Okay.
And did this name come up in your conversations with the community?
No.
Did you recover a gun that you think is tied to him at any point with his arrest?
I don't have that information.
Speaking of which, he was charged with the 2020 charge for a gang-related shooting. Anything, history on that?
I don't have information on that.
I think, no, there was an Anthony John Ortley charged in a gang-related
Okay.
shooting in 2020, if you know if that's a connection.
I don't have information on that. No.
Okay, maybe one or two more?
I just am curious, as you talk about this connection between these two shootings, the victim at 17th and Cedar, can you tell us any more about that man and, why he potentially was targeted?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, a lot of our questions about information that's not able to be shared. Appreciate your time, your flexibility, and for highlighting this important news. Our community needs to hear this. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.